Am I the asshole for not respecting my daughter-in-law's boundaries when she gives birth and laughing in her face? English isn't my first language and I barely speak it, so I hope Google Translate doesn't do me wrong. I'm a 59-year-old woman and my youngest son James is about to welcome his first child with his wife Jenna, fake names for the story Sake. With Jenna being 8 months pregnant, they've sent out a list of rules which about visits and rules when you do come to visit. Some are a bit ridiculous. I honestly thought most if not all rules didn't apply to me, especially the not seeing the baby for at least 2 months, because you see they both live rent bill free in my home. Now I say this before it's mentioned, I don't want to be in the delivery room nor care what they call the baby, that's their business. I bought most of the baby stuff and I've given them 2 rooms in my house with 3 years to find their own place. Tourists have made it impossible for affordable housing. I first thought it was a mistake when they sent me the email, but while we were eating our dinner I brought it up. My son lost his ability to speak, but Jenna told me they expect me to stay downstairs in the guest room, giving them the whole upstairs to themselves. And if I want to use the kitchen I'll have to text them to make sure it's okay, or I would turn one bedroom upstairs into a kitchen so it could be an apartment so we wouldn't be bothering each other. I honestly bust out laughing because I thought they were joking. Then James asked me what was so funny. They were serious, and I need to respect their boundaries or I'll never have a relationship with my grandchild. Jenna was crying at this point, saying I'm ruining this magical time for them by being disrespectful. I told them both this is my home and I'm doing them a big favor. If they don't like it, well, they can sleep on the beach. As for not letting me see the baby, well, I don't want a relationship if they're gonna use the child to get their way. They packed their bags and left for a hotel, telling me I'm a heartless monster. I don't want to ask my other kids or my friends because I don't want others being involved, so I come here for unbiased advice. Not the asshole. That really is an insane, laughable request. They could literally just keep the baby in a bedroom if they don't want you to see it at first, expecting you to give up your entire house and ask permission to use certain community rooms is overreaching and entitled. Not the asshole, it's your house. If they want privacy and their own space, they need to find another place to live. You don't make the rules when you live rent-free in someone else's home. Not the asshole. You were right to laugh at their rules. Do they think they own the house and you're the tenant living there free? They're delusional. I think they thought the threat of not being allowed to see your grandchild would get you to agree to anything they wanted. Good for you that it didn't. And no, you're not ruining their magical time for being disrespectful. They are. Meanwhile, think about what concessions they'd have to make to you in order for you to permit him to move back. They've gotten to feel too entitled to your aid. Not the asshole. Tell them I laughed with you. Not the asshole. They are living rent-free in your home and essentially wanted to keep you from using your own kitchen or common living areas. That is not reasonable. Also, don't give them the things you have purchased. Based on their inability to be reasonable, chances are you will either end up with the baby in your care or they will be back soon enough. I'm just staring at this. Not the asshole. Obviously, I hope they don't expect you to pay for the hotel. Good luck with this mess. Not the asshole. I was so ready to go full nuclear based on your title, but was pleasantly surprised. They are being ridiculously entitled. It's your house. A house guest doesn't get to dictate where you can spend time in your own home. not the asshole. And frankly, when they come crawling back with their tail between their legs, which they will, you need to be clear on what your boundaries are in order for them to continue living in your house. It will only get worse once the baby is born. They're overly entitled. Why can't they go live off her family? Not the asshole. That's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. Even if they weren't living in your home, it would be ridiculous. But since they are literally insane. Not the asshole, they sound like idiots. LMAO. They probably have 7 brain cells combined. Who the hell makes absurd demands while living rent-free in someone's house? Not the asshole. When I read they physically live there with you, I also burst out laughing at the idea of expecting total privacy in shared spaces. You may have shattered her dream plans. But her dream plans are delusional. Not the asshole. They're living rent-free in your house and want to restrict you to one room. And you have to ask permission to use your own kitchen. Unbelievable. Not the asshole, they can't not be serious. If they don't want anyone to see babies for 2 months, then they need their own. So do they plan on moving out? Definitely not the asshole. They're allowed to set boundaries regarding who sees their baby and when. But you are allowed to set boundaries for your house guests. They have a right to privacy in the 2 rooms you've let them use. But claiming an entire floor and telling you can't use your own kitchen without asking their permission is beyond absurd. Hope they like the beach. 100 Not the asshole. But it's time for them to get out and find their own place before delivery woman shrugging light skin tone. Not the asshole. They have no right to restrict your movement in your own home. Not the asshole. They are nasty, entitled brats. I suspect when the tiny human is born they'll be begging for some input from you. If this is exactly as you portray, it's an absolutely not the asshole. You seem to have raised a very spoiled son, who is letting himself be pushed around by his pregnant girlfriend. Not the asshole. Time for the boundary setting to swing the other way. When they beg you to let them return, lay down the rules of the household. Perhaps it's time for them to contribute to bills. Not the asshole. Tell them sounds like they want their own home, so you're giving them that by not letting them back. What entitled brats. Not the asshole. Sounds like they are playing house without the means to actually afford it. Do not feel bad. They can move in with her family. Entire. Am I understanding this right? They don't want anyone to see their baby for 2 months. Is this a cultural thing? Is this normal where you are? I don't get it. Both my parents and my in-laws visited separately for a few days after the birth of both of our children. I wish they would have stayed longer. They let my wife and I have a few much-needed breaks. Who wouldn't want that? Not the asshole whatsoever. Your header had me thinking you were, then I read your story. OMG, show them you're the front door. Not gonna lie, that title had me set to call you're the asshole, but like, are they drunk? Okay, fine. Can't see the baby for 2 months. Find somewhere else to live for 2 months. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I thought this was going to be about parenting issues. And worthy of the RJUSTNOMIL sub. But what they are asking of you is utterly ridiculous. It's time for them to move out. If they don't want anyone to see the baby for 2 months. Whatever you do, do not let them back in. They are devising another plan to steal your home from you. Using a child as hostage is unforgivable.